Welcome to the Rooted Warriors, the podcast where the bonds of sisterhood are not just celebrated, but explored through laughter, tears, and everything in between. Join me and my two dearest friends as we dive deep into the roots of our own friendships, sharing stories and challenges. Whether you're looking for inspiration, advice, or just a good story, we're here to bring a piece of our sisterhood right into your life.
Well, hello there, my Rooted Warriors. Welcome to a very special mini episode of our show. I'm Kat, and today we're flipping the script. That's right, we've got a fun twist lined up. Our guest will be taking the reins and asking us the questions. It's your chance to peek behind the curtain and see what makes us tick, what shakes us up, and what drives our wild hearts.
All right, guys, we got Miss Gigi. Gigi, give a shout out to the listeners. Let us know what's up. Hi, Gigi.
Say hello,
Gigi, say
Rooted
hi.
Warriors.
Oh, hi. We love you, Gigi. Thank you for being part of our show today.
Did you like the food?
Tell us, did you like it? You did?
Tell them your name. Say, I'm Gigi.
Hi,
In
Gigi.
here.
What'd you eat, Gigi? What'd you have to eat? Did we
Yeah.
have some crackers?
Did you eat rabbit food?
We had ice cream though, huh?
Did you have the ice cream emporium?
Big lucky. Gigi is not a woman of many words.
No,
we're gonna let that go. So we have we've had to turn over our podcast to someone today.
We have.
And we've given the reins, and the head host is now Miss Teri.
It is.
Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
We did make the mistake of saying we were letting go and giving control.
There
Yeah,
you go.
there it
Look at
is.
that. That's a good
It's all
moment.
you.
So what I'm thinking, I want to get to know. I was telling you earlier that I wish I was in closer proximity to you so we could hang out together.
Oh.
I love you. I love you. I
Let's
love
do it.
you.
Well, anytime you're here, you have a group
We're
of
going
girls.
to Georgia.
And they're going to Georgia. Join the party.
We're gonna see
Oh,
her.
no, they already have us looking at homes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
not
love
a good
that.
idea.
Yeah, we're
But
coming.
I want to get to know you better. And at a previous iPod, we talked about trimesters.
Yes.
Of our lives.
Trimesters. Can you tell me, ladies, your first trimester of your life, what is the most vivid memory?
And the first trimester being which part?
You're becoming.
You're becoming of who you are.
Yes.
What was the most difficult part?
Or most memorable.
I think for me, it was trying to find out who I was. I was my mom. My mom obviously had me, but then I lived with my grandmother, my
Mhm.
nana, and then my mom took back over again, and
Mhm.
I moved into another family.
Okay.
And so I was always trying to find that dynamic of what family dynamic I belonged in. And so I think maybe if anything, it was just trying to understand how to act or what was expected of you in those
a
situations.
new role.
Mhm. And I was a pretty much a people pleaser when I was growing up, and so I just wanted to be okay. So I think maybe that was hardest for me. I think so.
What about you, Mo?
So I think the best way to describe me in my first trimester would be a rebel without a cause.
How so?
I was always rebelling against something, and rebelling against my mom and my stepdad, rebelling against school, rebelling against God, rebelling against everything. I was very angry. So I think for me, the thing that resonates the most with me in that first trimester was when I personally found Christ. And when that happened, obviously it wasn't like magically I'm better.
Yes.
Like we all can acknowledge that. But it was a pivotal turning point for me. It made me realize
How old were you, Mom?
I was 16. And it happened. Somebody had given me a CD that was a Christian CD that came out at that time. And I was going to Bethany Covenant here in Ripon for their youth group. And my friend Katie Stewart, shout out Kate, who
Hi, Kate.
I named Katie after.
Really?
Mhm.
I know the Stewart family.
And so she had given me a CD, and I had been kicked out of school, and I was living with my real dad, who I just met. and I was living down in his basement of his house in a nice room that I had down there. And I was listening to this CD all the time, and, different, scripture would come out in it, and I would actually crack open my Bible that I never cracked open. And I started reading and thinking and realizing that I was extremely angry and that there was reason for my anger, and I was acknowledging it as I went along. So to me, I think that's the moment and the time frame that I remember the most, because I think it really became the new path. It became what I was going to build my life on from that point on. And like I said, it was not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes along the way there, but it was really the building block.
Thank you. Thank you. And life is like that. 2 steps up, 1 step back.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Right.
G.
Could you reiterate the question just so I can clarify
To
what it was?
clarify,
Yeah.
excuse me. Looking back now in your life, the first trimester, we had talked about our life is broken into possibly 3
Right.
segments, 3 trimesters. To your memory, what is something pivotal that you remember from your first trimester of life as you were becoming?
Mm. I would say that being raised in my household, it was a very chaotic place to be. And I don't know if there wasn't a day that some sort of fear wasn't installed in me. It was really just always something. And my mother there was 4 of us. So one of us was always being terrible about something. And it was just, I think that fear I carried for many, many years, even as an adult, thinking, oh, am I going to get in trouble for this? And then thinking, oh, wait, who's going to, get me in trouble? But there was, I didn't realize that I had that much fear that was programmed into me. I mean, into my 40s, where I was just terrified. I guess that's it. I was a very fear-based child.
It was like survival.
And it
for her.
went into my adulthood, my young adulthood, and I think decisions were based off of fear, and it, in the end, it made me who I am. But could I have done without it? Yes. Could I have been
Right.
better and made better choices? Yes. But that's not how it was meant to be. But I would definitely say
Part of your becoming was
fear.
fear-based.
Yeah. It was just being, I don't
Well,
remember
it sounds
a
like all
moment of
3 of
not.
us it was. It was like the fear of
I wasn't
upsetting
I
someone.
wasn't a rebel though. Like there
Either.
was a lot of fear programmed in our household, and
Right.
I don't remember, and I'm sure there were plenty, but there was just a lot of,
There was
running
an
home.
intense anticipation. You knew you were going to be in trouble later as soon as Dad came home.
Pretty much.
You knew.
Yeah.
That
We
that was
knew
it.
that it was always like, what mood was my dad going to be in? How was my mom going to try to fix it?
Would she be successful?
Yeah. And then
Right.
how, scattered could all of us kids be so that we didn't have to partake in what was going to happen?
And not typically.
So
So
thank you,
Right.
Gina.
Sorry.
Yes, I get it.
I wish it was better. I
No.
mean,
It
No,
gets
but
better though. It
Yeah.
gets
Yes.
better.
Story
it
gets better.
does.
Now I'm going to start. Now we're talking about the second trimester, which we were building. I'm going to start with you, Monica.
God, we did a jump.
For that second.
to piggyback off other people.
for that trimester. Now at your age, looking back on
Yes.
your building trimester, tell me what you're most proud of. And I'm going to just say we're all proud of our children.
Yes.
Okay, let's put motherhood aside.
Oh,
And tell me-
that's hard.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so
Wow.
she just
took my
golden
Yeah,
Who are
because
you?
we would all say we loved our parenting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a better person. I
Okay,
mean, that's
tell
not
me.
even a question on every level. When I was young and rebellious, I was angry. I was a liar because I was just trying to get by. Right. So like, I'm, like an example of that is I ran away at 13. I had worked 2 jobs and I told him I was 16. I gave him fake IDs. I gave him fake social security so I didn't get in trouble. I was drinking in a bar at 13 so I could cash my first paycheck. So, I was not the person that I would look to or would look for guidance or would even admire in any facet at all. And so I feel like I have grown into a woman that's honest, open, strong leader. I am passionate about my husband. I'm passionate about what I do for a living. And I love fiercely. I am a fierce lover.
I love that.
And I hope that when I get to that 3rd trimester, that I can help others in that way, help them to be better leaders and to love and to not feel, that they have anything to hide.
Yes.
Be who you are, who God created you to be, and do it with greatness. And so I would say I'm a very confident woman.
Yes.
And it's because of everything I went through in that 1st trimester.
I like that. Thanks, Mo. What about you, Gina? What would you look back now at your age, look at your 2nd trimester of building, aside from your parenting and your obvious love of your grandchildren, what is something that you're proud of that happened during that building trimester?
Surviving.
Survive.
And I can't say that, every choice that I made was my own choice, and I think, being married and then divorced and then married and then divorced and then, one bad relationship after the next. I would be proud of the woman I am compared to who I was before.
Love that.
And I wanted to be more of a what do you call when your emotions run off of like your heart instead of like your mind, your intellect. It's called something, but instead of
Emotionally reactive.
and instead of being so emotionally reactive about things, being able to sit and go, is this good for me? Right? Or is this not? And being able to think things through now than when I was younger. And I mean, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change it. They're all lessons that I needed to learn to get to a place that I am now where, I am a better person. I'm a better friend. I'm a better partner. I feel a peace about myself where I just feel secure, and I think it's a journey and it's been a journey, but I'm very excited to
What
see
an
the
exciting
next.
place to be right before you're transitioning into your bestowing
Yeah.
trimester.
Yeah.
Miss Andy, same question. You've had some time to think about it.
I needed that time to think
Yes.
about it and put my thoughts together because I think mine, although we all each had our different adversity and thing we overcame. Looking back at mine, I wasn't a super wild child when I was in high school and things like that. But by the time I got to my early 20s, and I was so lost, and I spent a lot of time looking and searching for my tribe, my people who wouldn't tell me whether I was too much or too little. I just spent a lot of time doing that. And what ended up happening was I surrounded myself. Well, I was in the industry for a long time, the restaurant industry for a long time. I bartended for 15 years. And so whether I was managing or whether I was bartending, it didn't matter. It was that specific industry that I just sort of lost myself in. And what happened was I would do anything not to feel. And so if that meant having a glass of wine every night or a bottle of wine that night, or going to a bar and catching up with shots just so I didn't have to feel at the end of my shift. I was like that. And whether I was a mom or not, it didn't matter. If I didn't have my children, I was trying to escape. And I think that I had, in the middle of one of my shifts, I had a friend, I remember, I'll never forget. And her name was Stephanie, and her last name was Baldwin at the time. And she was this beautiful, tall, blonde, sweet girl. But she, in the middle of a shift, I'm sweating, and she stops me, and I'm bartending. I'm like 5 deep at the bar, and she stops me, and I've got food in my hands, and I'm like, "What? what do you want? And I'm typically not like that, but we were really busy. And she just said, do you want to go to church with me on Sunday?
Wow.
And I said, Stephanie, I don't have time for this. No, I don't. I'm sorry. Thank you for asking, but I got to go. And it wasn't 2 months later. We were in the middle of a same situation. I was sweating. I was carrying food and we were passing each other. And I stepped in front of her and she almost knocked the dishes out of my hand. And I asked her if I could go to church with her.
Wow.
And she started crying in the middle of the shift and said,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
Well, that was just the start of it, really. I was born and raised Catholic. And, but that step away from that lifestyle and then just making that decision not to continue to drink and use those types of substances and maybe try to hide what I was feeling, through my marriages and failed marriages and divorces and things like that. So I think what I built was the start of my faith in the most legit, real, authentic way. And I had other approaches to me before that, but that was the very first time that I actually felt like the presence of the Holy Spirit say, whoa, stop.
I love that.
Did you hear what I just said to you?
Building
Do
on the
you want
solid
to
rock.
go to church? I'm going to ask you one more time. I could feel that. And it was at that moment that it was either go that way or go a different way. And that the other way just wasn't going to be good for me.
Love that.
That would have been my demise for sure.
That's an example of building,
Yes.
all of you. Thank you, ladies, for your transparency. Now, just to lighten things up a little bit. Because life is hard,
Life is
so we do go through those trimesters, but we've all been pregnant. We understand how hard pregnancy is and childbirth. So we know that there's good on the other side of all that pain. I'm going to ask now, we talked about you gals are not in your third trimester of bestowing. And I would like to ask you each, what is a dream of yours? Okay, and I'm going to just say this, or something that you really want to achieve, whether it's, I'm not going to lead you there, but for example, I always wanted to paint. I imagined myself painting. And when we moved to Sun City, I took a drawing class. I loved that. I never thought I would love drawing. And then I started working out, doing weightlifting with Mark, my husband. I can't believe I love that. So that's a surprised me that I have these new passions, hobbies. So in your imagination, ladies, you tell me what your bestowing years might look. A new hobby, adventure.
Me? Look at everybody looking at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I know you've picked up golfing, but
yeah. I do love golfing. I love paddleboarding, but something where I would love to see myself is my soul at just peace in my life and learning to enjoy that, that part of my life, traveling, just figuring me out. I've always wanted to do pottery.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Hi, Gigi.
I was kidding.
Yeah, hi, Gigi. Just really, I don't need a whole lot of excitement for me, myself. I find more of me in some peace. That's what my body craves. That's what my soul craves. So, just, I would love to see this world. I never thought of myself as traveling, exploring, but I would love to do that, and my next stage is just figuring me out really and what it feels like to laugh again.
Yes. And that's the beauty of the bestowing years.
Right. Yeah.
We've got that. We get there and say, who am I?
Yeah.
I take myself less seriously than I did before, but I know myself better. So it's going to happen, my girlfriend.
Yeah.
What about you, darling?
So it's funny because, I've had this conversation over the last week or so a lot with myself.
About what your next
what's the next
is?
phase
Okay.
is. And, like I said, I'm going to let go.
Good.
I want to work towards not working as much and hopefully getting into what may be a retirement type mode, but not really because obviously I'm not going to stop.
You still have it in you.
I still have it in me. And so work wise, I see myself creating businesses for other people. I feel like that I do have good vision and good ideas and I think I can make some great things for other people. I just don't want to do the day in, day out of that. That's old. It's old for me. I'm tired. I don't want to do that. But really, I want to gear away from making money, and I want to gear into time spent with people and quality time. And we've been talking about outdoor stuff with our last episode, but I'm drawn to that. I want to get back outside. I want to be hiking. I want to be out on the water. I want to do campfires with my grandchildren and my husband, and I just want to go for long walks and cook and do the things that I like, instead of doing what makes everyone else happy and everyone else content. And I look forward to, like Gina, discovering who Mo is again, because Mo has been everything for everyone. And so I am so ready for that. And I want to be a helpmate to others at the same time, because that's part of my genetic makeup.
It is.
And so I don't want to lose that, but I do need to rediscover myself.
Yep.
You know what's funny? Just listening to you say that, and I think we talked about this at one point. It's like the best part, I think, for me, like moving forward, is that if I do travel, we just worry about ourselves.
Yeah,
I know.
we're not worried
It
about
is-
everybody
it
else's
is-
stuff.
diaper
It's
bag.
fun to pack your
No,
own,
right.
to
Why
pack your
aren't
own
you having
suitcase.
fun? What's the matter? It's like, I'm not going to beat up on my daughter, but
It's true.
with
All of our
taking her
kids
on
now.
vacation, it's like I can't enjoy myself because I'm so worried about
Entertaining her.
are you entertained? Are you having fun? What's the matter? Are you just going to sit on your phone? Did I just pay $2,000 to take you here? And then you just sit and TikTok. We could have TikToked
We
at
could have
home.
TikToked at home.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right? So like now I don't have to worry about anybody else
But me.
but me.
Yes.
I'm getting ready to go on a trip, and I packed Adam, but now I'm thinking, what does this trip look like for me? What book am I going to grab?
You're going to take a bath every day, you said.
Yes, I'm going to take I have all my bath stuff ready. Like I don't have to
Aw.
worry about anybody else but me. And I think that that's probably going to be one of the best parts of this next stage
It is.
for us.
Absolutely.
Right.
It
It's just hard
is.
to see that through
It
when
is.
it's happening, but you're right. You
And
get
to stop yourself
glimpses of
from,
that.
from
Yeah.
doing what is natural for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and what we've been kind of conditioned to do, which is to spiral and things like that, instead of maybe approaching how to deal with it instead. So
Miss Andy, what do you envision in your bestowing trimester?
How can I spread my light to everyone? And I don't mean like kind of how I'm like now. I mean, if I never have to be called strong again in my life, it'll be too soon. I don't want to anymore. I just want to be, and I just want to
Yes.
be peaceful. I want to, I see myself walking on the shore every morning with my coffee, or at nighttime, watching the moon goes down, whether that's at the beach or at a lake, or it doesn't matter where, but just there's something peaceful about it. And I just, whatever it is I've learned that has made it easier for me now. And if I just had maybe known that sooner, if I could just maybe help someone else with that and make it easier for them so they don't have to feel that way. And whatever that is, whatever that is that I'm supposed to give back. There's just something there that's drawing me to, whether it's this podcast and this is how we're doing
Yes.
this, and we're sharing, and if we can help other people and women who are struggling and think they're alone and they're not, and that type of thing, if this is what it is, or if it's a group, or if it's church, or
Yes.
it doesn't matter. I don't want to be a survivor or a struggler anymore.
Well, thank you, ladies. I want to say that the best is ahead, even though trimester 1 and 2 has its wonderful blessings and exciting times, but it also has its struggles. And raising children is a joy, but very wearing on a marriage and financially draining. And you get to this point, Mark and I have 2-hour coffee sessions in the morning.
Nice.
It's true.
Is it naked?
It's
I'm
true.
just joking. Is it naked, Teri?
No, they're just in they're like both in their beds, and like Teri's doing all her she has little chores that she does on her phone, right? So she's like checking her list off, like, did I do my vocabulary or my
Duolingo.
her Duolingo, her do better, like all the different things that she does on her phone. And Mark's just over there. Mark wakes up in the morning and goes makes her coffee and brings her
What a
coffee
little
every
sis.
single day.
Yes. And
Yes.
we have two stories in our house. So he got a tray and puts it in a carafe so that he goes up the stairs and brings it to me. God bless him.
sweet
Is he just the
is he?
sweetest?
He is the sweetest. He really is.
Wow.
In closing, I just want to tell you two ladies, what a joy to get to know you better and to hear your testimonies and your life. What a privilege I feel right now that I've been in your company. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss
You
Teri.
are just everything.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I think that it's been an honor to glean anything that we can from you, Miss Teri, and I'm sure that our podcast family feels the same way as they
thank
listen.
you.
And subscribers, make sure you hit that follow button. And until next time, feel blessed, be blessed.
Amen.